Now, we have two Olympic legends on the show this week, and starting tonight is the only British man to win successive golds at the Olympic Games, World Championships, European Championships and Commonwealth Games. It's Linford Christie. Linford, it's so good to have you with us. Thank you very much. Thank you. We mentioned earlier that lots of Team GB have gone over to Paris today. Your first Olympics in 1988. Can you remember what it was like that first time when you went and the nerves and how you were feeling ahead of competing?
Definitely. I mean, it's like it was yesterday. And I think you feel that you're carrying some of the nation on your shoulders, of course. And it's because, you know, I was in with a medal chance. I was, you know, down to be third or fourth. But it's the excitement. And, you know, they say most athletes or every athletes, the pinnacle of your career is to be an Olympian. And, you know, you think, yes, God, I'm going to be an Olympian. And you've got to go out there and be competitive. And, oh, yeah, I got a chance of doing, you know, getting the medal. And it's really nice.
It's all building, I suppose, to that moment, isn't it?
Definitely. I mean, it's 4 years. It's 4 years in the making.
Wow. And then you've got to deliver. That's the big thing.
You know, 1 or 2 races in 4 years is tough.
Well, Linford, there were so many kind of like highs and lows throughout your career, which you've now decided to share in a very, very powerful documentary that's going to be released. But before we talk about it, let's have a quick look at you talking to two of your children, actually, about some of the many medals that you won.
I don't even know where my Olympic medal is. I don't even know. The last time it came out, gave it to Mamie to do show and tell. At school, and if you think Mamie's now 21,
true.
So you can imagine how long ago that was.
How can you not prize your medals?
You know, I'm not one of these people who sit back and dwell on it.
Do you feel you're trying to avoid something?
I suppose in a way it is, you know, because part of it's also over the years, you know, you get beaten down a lot.
Oh, Linford, it's a fascinating watch because obviously it's the first time that you're talking to your children about a lot of the stuff that's coming up in the doc. Why did you feel, because, you know, you talk about the glory, obviously, of the Olympics and then failing the drug test, there's highs and lows, as JJ said. Why was now the right time, then, to make this documentary?
Well, I mean, first of all, my agent talked me into it, which has been good.
It's always then.
Honestly, I love that. Honestly, how good's that?
But, you know, I think the time was right for my kids because, you know, in my house, we don't talk athletics. There's no sort of like memorabilia and stuff in my house that, you know, says I was an athlete.
Why?
Because, you know, for me, I just think, you know, a lot of the time in the story is talk about looking back, and, you know, and I think you've got to move forward. And the fact now that I coach, I don't really want to be one of these coaches who keep saying, oh, when I was, you know, and so therefore, and also you can get caught up in your own self-importance. You know, so then I could be the boss in my lunch hour, you know, and I didn't want to be one of those kind of people. So, you know, I didn't really want to do that. And so now was the time, I mean, you know, old enough now to understand.
When you actually kind of like look back now, because obviously, you know, I'm sure you've been going through, you know, a whole catalogue of kind of your achievements, right, your career, and like we said, the highs and the lows. What's kind of the first feeling that you have when now you've took a little bit of a journey and had to look back to make the documentary?
I mean, I think the first feeling is, you know, the hard work I put in.
Yeah.
And of course, then, you know, if you even look, you know, sometimes they feel that, you know, an hour and a half is not enough to even, you know, document.
Well, you've got a lot to pack in to
exactly.
be fair.
And that's what it is, you know. And so therefore, you know, you've got to try and get, you know, the right sort of, you know, amount in there, you know, so keep it spicy. But, you know, there's still a lot more really, you know, to say, and it just gives people also that, you know, they've most probably forgotten, a lot of the people in the new generation now, maybe they've forgotten me, their parents will remember me, but, you know.
It's a good reminder because you were as well, a fantastic sports star. But, you know, it talks about your early days when really running was a bit of a hobby. And then there was that moment where you met Ron, your coach. Now, tell us about Ron and how he changed things for you.
Well, I mean, you know, for me, there's no me without Ron. You know, I can honestly say that. I mean, when I met Ron, I was 19 years old, or maybe even a little bit younger than that. Teachers at school brought me down to the track. And, you know, it took all those years for Ron to, you know, hone my skills and get me to believe in myself and everything else. And, you know, I always say, is to show the youngsters or the next generation hard work and dedication. You can be anything you want. And that is, always been my motto. You can enjoy yourself, have fun, but you have to work hard. Sacrifice, there's no other way but sacrifice.
Yeah.
Sad to get.
We're on the same page as you. That was a good
So you
message.
get those gold medals. Simple as that.
The documentary is called Linford. It's brilliant. You can watch it on Thursday, the 25th of July at 8:30 on BBC One and iPlayer. And we have another Olympic champion on the show tomorrow. Daley Thompson is joining us.
Thank you very much,
you.
by the way, Linford. Right, still to come.